At this moment, all remaining thermonuclear warheads on board the SCP submarine Nautilus detonated. The Nautilus, 4 SCP aircraft carriers.
I don't know anything about this SCP actually. It's a 001, so it must be super important, right? Or maybe it's like one of the first? I've also never seen anything from this particular channel, SCP Illustrated, so this is gonna be interesting.
General notice. All files concerning the nature of SCP-001, including the decoys/decoys, are protected by a memetic kill agent designed to immediately cause cardiac arrest in any non-authorized personnel attempting to access the file.
Oh my
Revealing
god.
the true nature of SCP-001 to the general public is cause for execution.
Oh my goodness.
Warning. Any non-authorized personnel accessing this file will be immediately terminated through a memetic kill agent. You have been warned.
Don't tell anybody that I'm watching this and showing it to you, okay? It's a secret between you and me.
57257.
Continued life signs confirmed. Removing safety interlocks. Item. SCP-001. Object class Euclid/Keter. Description. SCP-001 is a humanoid entity approximately several hundred cubits in height, or 320 meters, located in an undisclosed location near the intersection of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The following features are known about the entity. A number of luminous wing-like appendages emerging from the shoulders, back, temples, ankles, and wrists of the entity. Although an accurate count has never been established, most observers place the number of wings at anywhere from 2 through 108, with the mean number being 4.
That's a pretty wide range. So what are we talking about here? So is this like, well, gate guardian as the name suggests? Are they guarding like the gates to heaven? To hell? To another dimension?
With the mean number being 4. A weapon, possibly a knife or a sword, classed SCP-001-2. Any entity that approaches within 1 kilometer of SCP-001 is immediately struck by the weapon and obliterated from existence.
Yikes.
Any and all hostile action taken towards SCP-001 have resulted in the annihilation of the attacker, regardless of range. SCP-001 appears to be standing with its head bowed in a gesture of supplication, with SCP-001-2 held in both hands point down in front of it. Human beings exposed to SCP-001 report hearing a voice in their heads, giving them a directive which the subject reports cannot be disobeyed. The most common directive is forget, which will result in the subject walking away from SCP-001 with no memory of having encountered it.
What are you guarding?
On rare occasions, however, other directives have been given. The most famous of these is the one given to the founder. Prepare. This is the organization now known as the SCP Foundation.
Oh!
Observers have reported that SCP-001 appears to be standing in front of a gate of immense proportions. Long-range photographs have occasionally detected what appears to be a pastoral grove within, containing numerous other entities of the same composition of SCP-001, as well as several fruit trees of unknown composition. Of particular note are 2 fruit trees of immense proportion near what appears to be the centre of the grove. One, it is noted, appears to be an ordinary apple tree, although the other bears a fruit unknown on Earth, described as the tree of the fruit of life.
Okay, I see what we're referencing here. I'm not Christian, but at least I know this. I do think it's interesting, though, that the other directive that was different from just forget was prepare. And apparently it was given to the founder of the SCP Foundation. Did the Gate Guardian know that all this would happen? And all these SCPs would be discovered? I mean, they kind of always existed, right? And it was the Foundation that kept them under wraps from the normal civilians. So maybe it is some sort of like message from quote-unquote God. It's kind of hard to define that, especially in the SCP universe with literal beings that can shape reality itself. But yeah, like, so far from what this looks like, it looks like this Gate Guardian is protecting the gate to the, what was it? Garden of Eden? Is that what you guys call it?
It is a vowed belief of the founder that the gate which SCP-001 guards may be the gate to... Data recovered. Administrator clearance accepted.
RIP.
The Garden of Eden.
Yeah,
Based
there
on
you go.
correlations with ancient Babylonian texts and the Dead Sea Scrolls. in which case one can deduce that the entity known as SCP-001 may be... Data recovered. Administrator clearance accepted. Uriel, the Angel of Repentance.
Uriel.
The angel tasked by God to protect the Garden of Eden and the angel who buried Adam and Abel in the garden.
Gotcha.
Special containment procedures. Because of the nature of SCP-001, no containment
Everybody just needs to stay away.
24/7 monitoring of SCP-001 is to take place from a safe 10 kilometers plus distance from the determined location, Site 0. The location of Site 0 is known only to the current SCP Administrator and the single Overseer level agent of Abrahamic Faith, 05-14, assigned to monitor SCP-001 from Site 0. Said agent is authorized to take any action necessary should SCP-001 become inactive, and is required to immediately alert the Administrator and all other Overseer-level agents should SCP-001 show any change in behavior, as this may constitute the beginning of a Patmos XK class end-of-the-world scenario. Should SCP become active in any way, personnel are required to immediately consult the Patmos series of emergency orders. Decoding algorithms for emergency order Patmos are to be maintained on site at Site 0 in the possession of the designated observer and to be transmitted to the SCP Foundation offices only in the event of SCP-001 becoming active.
It makes sense. Like, with the powers that we learned about, that this Gate Guardian possesses, literally just obliterating anything that gets within a kilometer radius, if it does become active, and maybe there's like the will of God or whatever to purge the world, then there is probably very little that we can do. So all you can do is immediately warn everybody. And, well, I forget the exact SCP number, but we do have Deus Ex Machina, right, out there somewhere to maybe rebuild the world after. Doesn't look like this particular SCP has done anything just yet, but it is probably powerful enough to do so. I wonder how this SCP would fare against, like, other very powerful SCPs, especially the reality bender ones.
In case of a premillennial rapture scenario, all vital personnel are to designate a secondary operative of non-Abrahamic faith. Said secondary operative is to be informed of the location of the primary designate copy of emergency procedure Patmos and mimetic kill agent inoculant, and is to be kept on ready status to take over the primary duties as necessary. Addendum 001-A, experimentation regarding SCP-001-2's effective kill range.
That's a sword, right? Yeah.
Experiment
-2.
A. One Class D personnel instructed to approach SCP-001 as closely as possible on foot. Result. Upon making visual contact with SCP-001, the subject is ordered to leave. Subject immediately turns away from the entity and walks away. Despite repeated orders to continue the experiment,
nothing you can do.
Class D personnel refuses to obey and is terminated. Upon termination of Class D personnel, all research staff involved are immediately obliterated by an unknown force, presumably SCP-001-2.
Yep,
Experiment
probably.
B. One remote-operated research robot guided to approach SCP-001 from the ground. Upon approaching within 1 kilometer of SCP-001, research robot is obliterated, presumably by SCP-001-2. All further attempts at remote reconnaissance have the same result.
I mean, it's just like, if you're not gonna listen, then I'm just gonna smack you down. Interesting, though, that, like, the Class D personnel, after getting terminated, this supposed Uriel took revenge for him. So, good on him, I guess. Rest in peace to all the scientists, though.
Experiment C. 100 pre-programmed research drones instructed to approach SCP-001
Yeah, you're not gonna do it
simultaneously. Coordination is successful, and all 100 drones cross the 1 kilometer mark simultaneously. However, all 100 are simultaneously obliterated by SCP-001-2. Designated observer at Site 0 reports that SCP-001-2 appeared to strike in all directions at once. SCP-001 did not deviate from its stance while this took place.
I don't even need to move, bro. That's pretty badass.
Wire-guided missile fired from a distance of 3 kilometers. SCP-001-2 obliterates weapon upon crossing the 1 kilometer mark. simultaneously obliterating the launch site and killing all personnel.
Ooh. Well, it was shot outside of the range, but even then, you're still gonna get destroyed if you were kind of like the catalyst for it. So I mean, like, theoretically speaking, like, the range is much longer than just 1 kilometer, but 1 kilometer is definitely like the warning range. And at the very least, well, as long as you're a human or maybe like any like intelligent being that wanders within 1 kilometer, you'll still have a chance to get away. So yeah, the SCP's entire objective isn't to destroy or kill anybody. Well, for now, it's just to protect that particular gate.
Multi-warhead intercontinental ballistic missile fired from SCP nuclear submarine Nautilus. Data redacted.
Nautilus is gonna get destroyed.
Recovered. Administrator clearance accepted. Experiment E. Multi-warhead intercontinental ballistic missile, multi-warhead thermonuclear, fired from SCP nuclear submarine Nautilus. SCP-001 is seen to raise its head from its stance of supplication. Previously unseen behavior. Administrator at 0514 order an
Getting a bigger
immediate
reaction.
abort mission. Upon crossing the 1 kilometer boundary, the missile is struck by SCP-001-2 and consequently detonates. Approximately 1 hour later, long-range surveillance can see through the smoke and shows SCP-001 still in the same position. However, its wings appear to be wrapped around its body. It is assumed this is to protect it from the heat or the radiation, though this is not known. SCP-001 then enters what can only be described as a rage state. SCP-001 extends its wings
I mean, who wouldn't be bad? Bro, you literally shot a missile at me. I'm just standing here doing my job.
to a previous position and then raises and points SCP-001-2 towards the direction of the SCP submarine Nautilus, some 65 miles away,
Submarine
and
gone.
out of SCP-001's line of sight. At this moment, all remaining thermonuclear warheads on board the SCP submarine Nautilus detonated. The Nautilus, 4 SCP aircraft carriers, 24 SCP escort vessels, several merchant vessels, and a luxury yacht were obliterated in the subsequent blast. The death toll is estimated at 35,000. This incident represented one of the biggest uses of amnestics and Foundation influence. The entire surrounding ocean for a distance of 30 miles in all directions was restricted. Local news outlet was screened
Makes
and monitored
sense.
for no mention of this experiment. The families of the merchant vessels and yacht were terminated to avoid questioning.
Oh, man. The SCP Foundation is, I mean, I guess they have to, like, experiment and try and see if there's anything they can do in case this SCP goes rogue, you know? But, like, I would say I feel bad for all the people who got caught in the crossfire, but they could also just be regenerated and have probably been regenerated. So, what is life anymore in the SCP universe?
Amnestics were added to the water supply and released via chemtrails over all countries within a 100-mile radius. By executive order of the Administrator and O5 Council, no nuclear weaponry is ever to be used against SCP-001. Experiment F. SCP-076, Able, and Task Force Omega-7 instructed to approach SCP-001 on foot.
I don't know this one.
SCP-076, Able, refuses to carry out the mission, despite not being informed of the mission's nature. Upon being asked why, SCP-076 replies, "No. Just no."
Absolute Giga Chad. No. Smart man.
Experiment G. SCP-073, Kane. Due to the result of Experiment F, SCP-073 was not informed of his destination until arriving at Site 0. SCP-073 approached the site on foot. Upon seeing SCP-001, SCP-073 became distressed and asked to abort. SCP-073 was ordered to continue. At this point, the symbol on SCP-073's forehead became Administrator clearance accepted. Data recovered. At this point, the symbol on SCP-073's forehead became unrecognizable. SCP-073's head appeared to split apart, and an incredible bright light seemed to be coming from it, resulting in 3 security personnel going blind. Experiment was terminated due to the effect this had on SCP-073. SCP-073 began begging SCP-001 to stop, stating, "Please, my lord, please, Uriel, I do not seek to enter the garden. Forgive me, my lord, please forgive me!" 073 was restrained in a Class 5 containment unit and immediately evacuated. Upon crossing 2 kilometers from SCP-001, SCP-073 lost consciousness. See Addendum 001-AA. Addendum 001-AA. By executive order of the Administrator, no further experiments are to be carried out regarding SCP-001. No further SCPs are to be exposed to SCP-001. SCP-001 is not to be used to dispose of dangerous SCPs.
Well, oh yeah, that could be something that somebody thinks of in the future. Like, this thing can literally obliterate anything, so you just send a pesky SCP that you want to get rid of within like a kilometer distance of it. But like, I know that we're not supposed to do any more experiments, but I am kind of curious how this battle would be between a reality bender and the Gate Guardian. It would be a legendary battle that would probably destroy the universe as we know it, but it would be pretty cool, I think.
The following errant transmission was received by Foundation personnel. SCP-001 has left its location. The gate is open. They are riding forth. Oh god, it's so beautiful. Because of this event's confluence with the recent breach of SCP-995, the opening of SCP-616, and the activation of SCP-098, the Foundation is required to immediately begin preparations for an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario.
I see.
SCP-076 and SCP-073, Cain and Abel, are to be secured immediately. All personnel are to unlock and decode Emergency Order Patmos Omega and follow all orders within. Site-19 is to be secured, and all non-essential SCPs and personnel terminated and or destroyed. Cain and Abel, my two sons, I am coming. Behold, I stand at the gate and knock, and if any follow, and is a new heaven and a new earth and the fruit of upon contacting Site 0, 05-14 responded that no such message had been sent from his location and that SCP-001 remained inert. The transmission was initially determined to be a hoax. However, close examination of the transmission reveals a timestamp dated years in the future. It is theorized that data expunged, administrator clearance accepted, data recovered.
Well, that's bad.
It is theorized that the gate to the Garden of Eden exists across all universes and versions of Earth. In one of those universes, set years in the future, an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario took place, and Site 0 from that reality broadcast the distress call. The distress call, by unknown means, seems to have travelled through the gate to our own reality.
Interesting. SCP-001 has not moved, refuses to give further knowledge on SCP-001? Gotcha. It makes sense that some of these earlier SCPs would be direct references to the Bible. I don't know much about the Garden of Eden, but Cain and Abel are names that I know are related to Christianity. I just find it incredibly amusing though that the SCP Foundation finds an SCP that is just like minding his own business, and after being told to leave several times, decides to throw a nuke at it. Like, what a classic move from the Foundation. Another point is that the Foundation does have a bunch of SCPs that they've been trying to figure out how to kill, and I feel like the Gate Guardian would be a very simple solution. Can we at least try it with the unkillable lizard dude or like shy guy? But I guess since we're not allowed to do that, it's never even brought up as an option. But yeah, that was cool. Check out our other SCP reactions in the playlist, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.